hunting trip. Me and Bjorn. We'll explain later.
Okay. Do you know the new faces? Angie says, pointing at the other creatures around us, including Ronny.
Those guys just came here.
Ronny, you see one of the original Court of Horns members in front of you. Shit. Forgot about that. With the accoutrement of Adasaur on their chest plate, effectively. You do see markings of Court of Horns on the other two individuals that are here. Arthur, the Dragonborn that just flew down, and Lunara does have some sort of what would it be that you would have gotten from like your family a long time ago, Lunara, that shows that you're aligned with the Court of Horns? You think? Did we ever decide that?
We never even discussed any of that, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, it could be up to you right now. It could be like a necklace, earring. It could be a glove, for all I know. It's up to you, really. Be a simple little thing, somewhat available to be spotted by another Court of Horns members that most other people wouldn't even recognize. Do you have an idea where it'd be?
I have no idea. I'd have to think about it.
Okay, so you will say that there's a necklace unless it gets retconned. But these two individuals at least are part of the faction in which you're involved with, Ronny. But the other individual, this elf that is in heavy armor, they definitely have old school Court of Horns armor, things that no one's seen in a long, long time.
This is the individual over here that's in the armor.
Nope, that guy don't exist.
No.
That person's not real.
Oh,
it is them.
okay.
Yeah.
Ronnie will kind of like stand up straight, kind of like brush the dust off his shoulder after this dragon dude grabbed him and chucked him down. Well, it seems to me I've found at least a few of the people I've been looking for. Pleasure's mine.
Angel looks at Ronny and it's like, if you're looking for a fight, I'm not in any state for it.
Oh no, that's not my current business. At least right now, anyway. I'm just a simple man looking for my way in the universe. But I do have some goals, and seems like luck's in my favor at the moment. I'm rude.
Exemplify.
We should do something
Exemplify.
about the whole. I don't want to interrupt this little gathering, but it's only going to get worse. And they're sort of trying to do something.
Well, couldn't your big fella over there scoop some dirt into it?
I mean, we don't have enough dirt to fill this in, as they're looking down this crevasse, effectively.
You have explosives.
As it looks, there are runes all around this hole, almost as if it's been magically sealed. Something must have broken the magical seal, almost like awakening and slaying a blue innocent dragon did it.
Arthur was your name.
Sorry, I didn't even introduce myself.
I like the way you think, though. Explosives, Big Bang. It's definitely my vibe.
I mean, explosives would definitely solve the issue.
I like it. Do we have any explosives?
I'm afraid I don't have any. But, how rude am I? Name's Arthur. Arthur Holmes. He says this brings his hand out for a handshake.
Yeah, Ronnie will
Don't
look at him,
even dare.
kind of.
Don't
He'll
try
grin,
scamming him.
and he'll just look over and go, Ronnie Blackburn, pleasure.
Nice to meet you too, Ronnie Blackburn.
Well, I mean, we do have one idea. Would maybe a really large impact cause a cave-in and shut it naturally? I mean, we do have some big fellas with us.
Make an intelligence check. Ironically, you have -2 on it.
Okay.
Well, that's not -2 on the roll. It's -1 on the roll, but
I mean, you don't have to be smart to be charismatic.
okay. So it'd be
So-
17. It's enough for you to know that you were going upwards for a bit of an angle, and when you heard the noise, based off the speed of this thing's acceleration versus time traveled, when you heard the bump, yeah, it'd probably be like maybe 120 feet of straight, just a straight down hole is what you're looking at. So if anybody was to fall in, they'd really be trying to grasp at the walls for survival there and probably not have a good time. But that's not the problem. Where you guys came from was effectively where the rest of the Grim Orcs were, like the entire army of Grim Orcs. You realize that these individuals may not be 100% connected to Grim Orcs, while they can still be considered that. These are just dryad-looking creatures, sort of made of this almost near flesh, but more vine-like, I guess, features. And out of all of them, these two seem to have their own they seem to have their own mind and will, while the other ones are definitely incapable of doing anything if they are not commanded to do it. It seems they are very grunt level. And based off the conversation that the two folks here, the true Grim Orcs, are having, these two beautiful yet disgusting creatures seem to spew at each other, are what we don't want the rest of them to show up, because then they're going to start problems. They're going to try to kill the rest of the denizens in the underworld. They don't say the word underworld, they call it Aiella. And then they are looking at you all talk about using explosions to cover it up. The guy says, I don't think that's gonna be useful. You'll probably attract more dragons. You guys had the misfortune to slay the one dragon that seems to have held this place in part. Was like the dragon inactive or asleep or something? Like, this is a very weird circumstances. It must have not attacked you. This thing was.
It was covered in stone when we found it. Does that count as slumber?
His face sort of like drops, and he looks at you. There was a constant smile on this Grim Orc. Like they seem to be like a happy-go-lucky kind of fella. A massive creature. They are not how do I say, larger than any one of you guys. The bigger one is the one with the blue coloring. That's just their wings and stuff. They're just a 5-foot area. They just seem to be tall, if anything, which is why I kept it like that. But As their demeanor changes for the first time, you can see no matter the discussion, it usually, excuse me, usually doesn't dawn on them to be concerned or worried. The moment you say that, they get there's a clear essence of anger or disappointment, and they say, "You slayed a slumbering dragon in Aiella."
Well, how am I supposed to know it brings the
Ayella's
apocalypse?
whole thing is slumbering dragons. What are you talking about? This is their safe haven. You see a dragon flying around? Sure, it may be out there to feed. If it attacks you, you destroy it. But if you find one sleeping, you let it lie.
Um,
He sort of
how are
like,
we supposed to know we don't kill
yeah,
sleeping
yeah.
dragons?
He doesn't hear that because he sort of like does that like walking away, like I can't deal with these people kind of thing. And he has wings, and he's just walking away for like a bit. He's like doing like little circles. But he's out of the conversation. What do the rest of you guys do?
Oh boy. In the name of Aiella, what did we put ourselves against into?
The guilty party's not even here. Where's Bjorn?
I am not sure where Jeff
It,
went.
He'll be here in a couple
it, it,
minutes. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. What did the rest of you guys do?
Well, now that Angie's a little bit more like looking more stable after doing some random magic thing on themselves.
Oh yeah.
They kinda
Mhm.
and they kinda get closer to Ronny and get very close to him, and it's like, don't try scamming the young guy.
Now, lass, respectfully, do you suspect that I'm the sort that would scam anyone?
Nah, he's just a bit naive. Don't worry, he's a good guy.
Arthur kind of like shouts back. He seems reasonable.
The dryad walks up to Ange, and they sort of just see that you've cast your magic on you. They see that you're in a bad situation, and they put their hands on you. But they look at you, clear as day. They don't say anything as they're doing it, but they're sort of like gauging if you'll let them touch you. And they slowly take their time as they're about to like touch your shoulder. Do you let them?
Angie's kinda a bit too tired to really care.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
So
trying to hold themselves.
yeah.
Not
How
to
does
fall
cure
down.
wounds work? That's a D8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Grab a couple. All my D8s are missing. So you get, what's that? 11 plus another 6, 17 plus their modifier, 27 hit points. They sort of back away the moment they do that. And literally go back to trying to figure out how to close that hole, because they're now trying to figure out the essence of the arcane script written around the gaping hole there. Etta walks up to Lunara. Her weapon is still drawn. She does have it on the ground. It is dragging on the ground, cutting a line on the grass. And they say, have you given the... And they're gritting their teeth as they ask this, Lunara. The vessel, where is it? Is it... Have you handed it off? Is there a soldier capable that is doing the mission now? They're sort of with a tense grip on the handle of their weapon, looking at you, asking you these questions.
Arthur interjects. We are more than capable.
She doesn't even look your way, looking to Lunara, waiting for her answer.
I, as a player, have no idea what she's talking about.
She's talking about the vessel of Aiella.
I don't know what that means.
The doll.
Oh,
The
that.
creepy doll that possessed me once.
I think I still have it.
You do.
But the question is, should we give it to her?
Is there something you say to her?
Well, my character has no way of knowing about it, so I let it to you.
No, you don't know anything about it yet. Like everybody here could make insight checks, but Lunara does not have to.
Ronny's gonna light a cigarette.
I would try history check.
You want to light a cigarette?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Everybody roll 2d100s now. It was only gonna be one, but someone wanted to light a fire around this place that's starting to stink. It's starting to stink. It's smelling very bad. Like these grim orcs, like the ones you've been hanging around, they don't smell bad. They smell very flowery. They smell nice. But you can get like hanging around the entire war unit, the war unit, the army of the grim orcs that has basically coalesced in a state of stupor or permanent, how do I say, petrification. They sort of just do this. If anyone's ever seen the old school Mario movie, they had those little dinosaurs that just wade back and forth. Little, I call it, they're tall as hell. That wade back and forth. They're just doing like a bit of a move left and right, almost as if they again haven't been commanded to do anything yet, waiting for their order. And hanging around them just has two effects. If ever you're hit by them, there's a chance that you might just get so sick you throw up right in front of them, right there. The other thing is less bad, but still could lead to issues. Fey afflictions run rampant around them. They always seem to cause people to be magically induced by these maladies. But yeah, let's see what you guys got.
Was I supposed to do 2d100s or just one?
Yeah. You like made like the air sort of like catch the light. Your cigarette ran out like after the first pull. How fast it went inside, like you almost threw up most of that smoke because you're like, what the fuck? And as the air is sort of just like coming alive, just surrounding you guys in this area. This whole situation is probably not a joke. But yeah, let's see what numbers we got here. For
Ronny rolled an 88 and a 20.
88. Roll a d4. Okay, so your long rest now takes 4 more hours to complete. What's the other number?
Oh crap! He got an 88 and a 20.
You now require double rations to survive. You cannot taste. Okay.
Welcome to the club.
Anyone else? What's your numbers? One at a time, please.
15 and 11.
15. You have a unicorn horn. 15. I believe that was
50.
50.
Not 15.
50.
Yeah. And 11.
Okay, so you could write down that one of your socks will always be missing. And right now you're feeling pretty sluggish. Like you feel like you have like a full belly consistently. You have ogre gut. at the moment. We'll talk about that later.
Arthur has a 67. And by the
67.
way,
Okay. You already had that. What's your other number? Arthur.
I accidentally did a D2, and it's 58.
58. You occasionally speak your thoughts out loud.
Arthur thought, "Oh shit, I fucked up."
Yes. Lunara, what are your numbers?
14 and 63.
14. You have rabbit ears. You have advantage on perceptions that involve hearing. What was the other number?
63.
63. Interesting. Fuck. Alright. So everyone here sort of time slows down for you all. The air, as it sort of is filling this, well, massive area, it seems to pervade all around, seeping past for 20, 30, 40 feet past the cave. And the cave. And as everything is seemingly pausing in place, there's a bit of a whisper that you all hear, and the words sort of ring like a bell. It's hard to understand exactly what they're saying, and you're all taken in this near opulent bubble, and you're all just standing there looking at each other, including the individual that was once referred as by the other individual, the guy with the wings, as Clear. But as Clear and Etta and Crash and the four of you all fall into this bubble, there's this hand, a massive hand, that sort of twists the bubble. You didn't notice it at first because it was hard to realize what you were on, but you're actually on the hand itself. The bubble is auxiliary. It's there for your protection. It's there so you don't collapse in space, as you're seeing this bright everywhere, just light, these beautiful colors of plasma that exist in such a size it's beyond comprehension, bigger than the sun, bigger than most. And Adosal Ok is looking at you guys. You guys see the eye of Adosal Ok and the hand. Lunara,
Thank you.
do you wish to ask Adosal Ok something? They are a deity of some sort. Lunara is not aware of this deity really, but they've had a hand in helping Aiella, trying to stop Adasor. They've even aided the Time Dragon Keeper themselves. They'll answer any one question you have. This is so ironic because I just did this exact same thing with another player 2 seconds ago. Whatever you'd like to know. Ronin?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Okay, yeah. You guys are all awake
What's
and
up?
can act in this bubble. Um, Clear, as you guys have realized, may be her name, is looking around, confused. She does not know where she's at, and she sort of covers their their belly area a bit and sort of lift their right hand, preparing to cast something, but just look around, concerned, not at you guys, but more like, where the hell is this? And if I gotta do something, I'll do this kind of situation.
Can
But they
Arthur
don't do
ask a
anything.
question? Arthur asks a question.
You could ask whatever you want to whoever you want here.
Arthur asks the giant eyeball thing and asks,
You see a
"How do
hand.
you kill?" Sorry,
You see a hand, and you are not compelled to ask them a question.
I'm
You
not
are just
compelled
here.
by.
You're in for a ride, baby.
Don't try to kill me.
Arthur looks at Pinky and
You can ask
Angie
the
and
players a question,
says,
yeah.
Arthur looks at Angie and he's like, "Ma'am, me and Bjorn really effed up now this time."
I suppose you did. And she kind of whispers to Arthur. Also, did we just get abducted by the AI deity?
Sorry,
Did we
sorry.
just got Okay, can I repeat again? Did we
We can't
just
hear you.
got abducted by... Do you hear me?
Barely.
Did we just get abducted by a deity?
Yes.
I honestly have no idea. For all I know, we could also be just summoned to a party.
Listen, guys,
Well,
I've never really quite had a cigarette literally blow up in my face before. This place is just odd. Boy, do I need to make a complaint to upper management. And Ronnie
Arthur
will kind of
says,
like up the.
what are you talking about, Ronny? This place is absolutely glorious. I mean, the bad guys here at least are wearing signs this time.
I mean, can't exactly say I'd vacation here, friend. But I see a few familiar faces that I really should get acquainted with at some point. But I know that if we have an order of business here, right? Got to hold the seal. We got whatever the heck is going on here, and by the gods, am I hungry.
Also, are you feeling the lack of taste? Don't worry, I've been through that.
Yeah, mouth is kind of numb. This is weird. I don't think I'm gonna buy these cigarettes anymore.
I think that's not because of the cigarettes. When I was
Recommend.
younger, I kinda can tell from experience. Traveling through space means random shit happens to you all the time.
Oh, believe me, I've seen my fair share of weird shit, but this takes the cake. Like I said, never had a cigarette blow up in my face before. But, I think we need to do something, right? I mean, we're all sitting on a big hand.
Yes, but far away from the hole. Yes, but far away from the pit.
As Ronnie's looking around, like, we're sitting on a huge monolithic hand, right? Where does this hand lead? Is there an arm that leads up to a head? What am I seeing right now?
You guys can see that there's fingers surrounding the globe around you. There does not seem to be an end that you can spot specifically. Yeah, make a perception check with quadruple disadvantage. I'm joking. Just regular
crap.
disadvantage.
Disadvantage
quadruple.
perception.
There's no quadruple disadvantage.
Trying to find where I can put my
Oh
disadvantage at.
no. That wand? You're blind, Noddin.
That's not
You
Nadine.
know you're an elf.
It
You
was
lose your dark
not.
vision.
If it was Nadine, she would be giggling already.
Shut up. You know what I'm. Ange. So Ange can't use their dark vision. Roll a
I think
d8
it. Okay.
for 4 hours.
Oh, that's a whole long rest.
No. You
Ronnie, I guess.
you
10.
can see that there are lines of either heavy magic or just some sort of how do I call it now? The term is lost in my head. Wow, a solar flare of some sort, possibly. That seems to just linger a little long and maybe has some form to it. But you are around a lot of these massive plasma clouds. These are just basically like galaxies that surround you. At the moment, you see like little sparkles and lights here and there. They're twinkling, and if you know anything about stars, the way to spot a actual star in the sky is just to wait for a planet to rotate around it, and then effectively it gives it off. You know that it's a system itself, and yeah, you're kind of getting the essence that this entity is either made up of some stars or is a star that is creating this much energy. But you can sort of see an arm. Yeah, you could claim that. You'll definitely tell everyone at the next bar you go to.
Yeah, this is definitely an experience. Can't say I've ever had the pleasure of all this.
Can Arthur say in the voice his head, "Geez, how am I gonna explain this to my big sister?" He says as head and then speaks in his mouth by accident.
Oh, you say that out loud. Nice.
I doubt anyone will believe you. If I haven't seen with my eyes, I wouldn't
Oh no, I'm just trying to
myself.
figure out what happens where she sends me to the nearest.
to
Also, isn't it a bit too dark over here?
Lunara and Ange, you see this figure of light, just pure light. They seem to sort of curve around itself. It is no bigger than either one of you, but they sort of apparate after a couple of minutes. And as Ange is speaking there, they do sort of just pop up right in front of you, Ange. There's this almost void to their face, but if you imagine void not as darkness but as brightness, and there's pinks and yellows that swirl around it, giving the effect of maybe an iris, maybe an eye of some sort, and eventually, yeah, you do understand that this is a docile orc standing in front of you, and she's grabbing, she'd be grabbing your arm probably, and as she's just sort of from her right hand grabbing the bottom part of your arm and with her left hand touching the top of your knuckles effectively, and she's just looking at you. She's doing nothing more than just looking.
When Ange feels the touching, they kinda get startled for a bit and they put themselves in a half kneeling position, like on one of their knees, and make somewhat of a bow and put their sword in front of them.
they ask you, and again, no one else but literally Lunara and Ang can see this. They ask you. Well, they say, he lives. Are you here to slay them?
I'm afraid I don't follow.
Adasor. He lives.
I've made a vow. I've broken once, but I won't do it twice.
Ren Alpa waits. He waits to be nudged. You must awaken them. If you are to see Adasor fall, one must rise in their place. Do you take that mantle? It is a heavy weight.
I've once run away without really thinking. Maybe waiting is a wiser decision.
Awaken Ren Alpa. Find the one of his name. And you just hear that over and over. Lunara.
Wait. They kinda get started.
Go ahead.
They kinda get started and raise from their kneeling position, kind of running towards the source of light again. And they're like, how? How do I find him?
That the thing, right? As this is happening, you and them are sort of locked in that mode. So all of you just see Ange sort of like go dead-eyed after a moment, looking at Adosal Ok, and eventually Adosal Ok does look to Lunara, waiting for a question from the universe. Or whatever light she could touch, I guess. Does Lunara have something in mind?
I don't know.
No question that you want answered?
I have no idea what to ask.
Maybe ask how to solve this issue. Maybe ask how you can kill Adasor. Those are very easy questions.
Sure.
But yeah, you could ask your allies like, hey, this thing is asking me for a question from the cosmos. Ange cannot help you with this situation. They're actually locked in this disappearing awakened Ren Alpa. I'm sorry?
I guess I'll just ask how to kill Adasor. I don't know what else to.
How to kill Adasor?
Well, to stop the dragon apocalypse from the underworld.
Sure. To destroy Adasor, you must devour Adasor.
Oh, so peace for decades. And Bjorn came back.
Yep, the
Yay,
moment
Jeff.
that's answered, Bjorn standing on top of the dragon very far away is probably like, yeah, I killed it. He's already starting cutting it up. What are you doing, Bjorn, as like you see you're probably too distracted for all this stuff, so but you see that your allies disappear for a moment and then just flash back in with a magical light.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be too busy trying to pull pieces of the dragon that he murdered.
Yes.
And then look over and be like, oh, what's going on over there?
You're seeing one of those grim orcs look at you. There happens to be one that was walking around, also checking the area, probably walking up at the same time as you. These ones look very odd. You've never seen ones these. Well, you've seen them this big and tall, but you've never seen them this beautiful, wild, disgusting. They have a bit of a walk, a strut to them, as if they're aware, unlike all the other Grimorks you've ever seen, to be honest.
I think initially him seeing the Grimork, he would kind of ready himself for conflict, and then kind of look at everybody else, kind of reading their faces and their energy of kind of, are we fighting, or what's going on here?
Well, we just met a deity of light.
And so Bjorn, the dragon hunting upgrade your axe, like we were trying to do.
I guess I never sent Bjorn the exact stats, but that was also on purpose. I have updated it on your character sheet. It is a great axe of warning. It will only warn you when there is a lightning dragon 10 feet of you. So
Okay.
it's basically useless. Other than the +1 for now.
I mean, I get a +1, so that's a benefit.
Yeah. And I guess you could identify to know all the specifics, but you'd have to do that. Maybe ask one of your
And
magical
look-
friends.
And she looks with a blank stare and is like, I've just met a deity, and I haven't asked them almost anything. And kinda rub their eyebrows with their hand. And they're like, did I just wait my time? So many questions that could be asked.
Oh yeah, Bjorn, roll 2d100.
Copy. You said 2d100?
Yes, because you too saw the explosion of Fey affliction clouds. Double rations. You cannot taste. You need double rations to survive. That's good. That's always great. You got 2 hungry people in this campaign now. And your breath stinks. So you could do a 10-foot cone of a d6 of poison damage. Yay. The deck save is DC 12. It's an action to do. I'll just send you that information. That's a lot. There you go. Basically useless though.
Double ration. I got a whole fucking dragon. Dude.
Yeah. You're breaking up, Jeff, by the way. Lunara, you still have Etta looking at you at your face, prepared to probably attack you. They are looking at your clear and obvious accoutrement of Aiella, and are asking where the vessel is at this point.
She'll just say it's safe.
Is it still here? It shouldn't be here.
Arthur looks towards Etta and Lunara's confrontation is like, I fought the debt between her and your family is good.
You know nothing of us. They turn back to Lunara, and they say,
I know Lunara, at least. Because as he says for turning his back on them.
that thing is dangerous to still have here. Either awaken it or have it destroy its pair. But we shouldn't waste too much time. There are people leaving to the overworld. As we speak, the overworld is not safe for them.
Did you just do a 180?
Like, they're looking at you, Lunar.
It's still here. I don't know what else she wants me.
Where is it? Who has it? Do you have it? Did you give it to one of the houses?
I have it.
You have it yourself.
Yeah.
Is there a plan to destroy Fierro, or are you going to become a god yourself? What are we doing with it? That thing existing is very, very bad for everyone who wants to leave. They're pointing their blade. They're like being pseudo aggressive.
We are
Not
playing
pointing
to
it
kill
towards
Fierro.
you, Lunar. They're just pointing it around like a crazy person.
Okay, Arthur says while putting his hands up, kind of like in that, hey, just calm down. We're planning to kill Fierro. But we're first getting our ship up. So that way we can fly out on our own and get out of the planet if people are pissed off we kill Fierro.
She does like an aggressive yell towards Arthur that I won't emulate, and looks around and says, "Do you not see all the working flying vessels here? You could go to Fierro now, slay him now, free it for everyone, or you will have blood on your hand."
So leave now and drop all the work here. Okay, we're just gonna have to put a notice. Arthur says, well, it's starting to walk his way to the vehicles that they've taken here.
Is her blade still pointed at Lunara?
They're not pointed at anybody. They just keep swinging it like towards the ground. Still, they move their hands a lot. Their left hand is currently doing most of the moving, and their right hand, the one that has the weapon, is a little reserved comparably, but not so much. They've yet to point it at anyone.
Ronnie slowly sneak behind this crazy lady and just kind of like nonchalantly try to snag the sword out of her hand.
You may definitely try.
What kind of rolls would I need to do this?
A stealth check to get up to them. They are not looking your way.
Oh, that's a nat 1.
I'm
supposed to be good at this. This is going to be interesting.
So yeah, they do turn back to look at you when you approach. How far do you go to approach? Do you get up 5 feet to them, or
Uh,
do you linger?
yeah, Ronnie. I think that Ronnie probably was sneaking and then probably stepped on something that was like a stick or something like that.
Yeah, there's a mushroom on the map. You can make another con save for that Fey Affliction for that thing. Why not?
All right, great. Con save.
Yeah. No, you failed.
That's...
DC was 10. Another D100, please.
Oh boy.
How many of those pills you got?
I think you said I got 4 or 5.
5.
Something
I
like that.
remember. You had the full stack. You have longer fingers. You have +1 to hand-related dex checks. Interesting.
That would have been great a minute ago.
But they look so creepy.
Yeah.
Like alien fingers now.
Ronnie just kind of like looks and goes, "This place is truly weird. It's putting me off my game right now." And he'll, realizing that he's been had and that this crazy lady in front of him, sees what he's trying to do, he'll just kind of chime in, "Look, not really sure what's going on. New to the party and all. But in my experience, swinging swords at each other, raising voices, never usually goes well. How about we just take a breath, regroup, get a plan here? You obviously don't want to be here. I don't really want to be here. Can't really speak for everybody else in this area, but let's work it out, right?"
Before I came to destroy a creature of this world, before I took down that dragon, I spotted this one pointing at Lunara. I knew what they had in their hand, I knew what they were carrying, and I saw them disappear from my very eyes. Magic, some sort of light. Very similar to the one that brought us to that bubble we were in, but I thought you disappeared to go destroy Fierro. I thought all the problems were solved. I thought the folk who are lucky enough to find an airship and use the magic of Aiella to get out of this zone, to free themselves of this place that is sometimes lacking of resources enough for the feeding of their children or what have you. It has people arriving in drones trying to slay them because they might have a boon of magic of whatever, a sword of Adasur or the tooth of a dragon as they sort of swing their blade in the air again. Anyone coming to the underworld either has been taken or is going to take. My folk have been the former. And they will continue to be, and they look again to Lunara, as long as that thing exists here. That thing must be put to rest. That is Aiella you're keeping in a bind. They're crying at this point.
Okay, obvious shifting plans. Okay, find a ship. Get on the ship. But before that, cancel plans and suspend any interviews. So, shall we get going then? And he kind of like looks at the rest of the party and Edda, who he gives a what's the phrase? Squints his eyes at. Is suspicious. Like he's suspecting that she'll go off the handle again.
You narrow your eyes at her. Okay.
Ange looks at Arthur and is like, "Do we have a plan?"
The Grimork lady sort of raises their hand. we should still close this unless, I mean, if you guys don't care what happens to the Grimork army, but they are being like controlled by a pretty bad dude. So, up to you guys.
Ronnie looks back at the Grimork dude. Well, since you seem to be one of experience, how do you suggest that we shut this thing?
Oh, well, either you ask a dragon to serve as a door, as that one was, looking at the dead body of the slain dragon, or use some sort of magic or sacrifice. I guess I don't know. I only know of the power of Aiella.
Well, I'm not a
Arthur's
magic-y
eyes widen.
type.
Arthur's eyes widen. A doll. We can use a doll.
No, what? How would a doll help in
Hear
this
it
situation?
before.
A doll contains a piece of how am I supposed to say this without you freaking out? Aiella?
Let's roll initiative, guys.
Oh boy. We are done for.
Fudge me at my stupid mouth.
The Grim Orc looks to you. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe you might not need initiative. She looks to you. You know what? Let's see. They look to you and they say, "You have a shard of Aiella with you." Is that what this conversation is about?
Arthur just simply looks at her with a yes, we do have a shard of Aiella. Arthur's kind of like nudges the group to help her. And mouths, help me out here.
They this individual that has been referred to as Clear does sort of go to touch, well, not touch, but sort of hover their hand towards your face. Yeah. They're just gonna pull away and say, "Okay. That is interesting." Yeah.
So, Arthur looks at Ronin, looks at Lunara. So, let's say we have a shard. How would we use it to do so? Okay, like looks at Ada.
Can I make a religion check?
At this point, sort of just like shaking her head, and she says, "Do what you will with it. Whatever the situation is, it is. But we shouldn't be lingering here. We have caused a bit of a commotion. There's already ships coming around."
Can Bjorn ask this Grim Orc a question?
Go ahead. Yes.